Star Wars Adventures in Hyperspace, Chapter 2. The Gundark swung its upper arms at the squall. The squall ducked and then leaped onto the Gundark's back, wrapping its arms around its opponent's neck. The squall then bit the Gundar's ear. As the spectators shouted from their seats, Han kept his eyes on Jabba. "You invited me here. To talk business, I remember." "No, Solo. I have not forgotten about our business meet." The hut was interrupted by a loud snap from the arena floor. "Ha ha!" Jabba burst with laughter. "Did you see what the newcomer just did to the hometown favorite?" "No, but I heard," Han said with pleasure. "So, about business?" Jabba pointed to the Gundark. "That monster killed 3 of my guards. Unfortunately, new guards and a large supply of food await pickup on Garnor." Garnor, Han glanced at Jabba's guards. "These creatures don't exactly encourage visitors." "No, they don't," Jabba said. "And my contact on Granor does not trust strangers for these reasons. I must insist you bring my best translator." "A translator? Can't you just tell your contract that you trust me?" The Hutt smiled. "You amuse me, Solo. The translator will meet you at your docking bay. Bib Fortana will give you all the other details." Jabba wiggled his stubby fingers, signaling the assistant to step forward. Bib Fortana had been lurking in the back of the Jabba's box. He moved beside Han and held out a data card. Han ignored Bib with the extended data card. "No, not so fast, Jabba," Han said. "How does this job pay?" Bib Fortuna did not like being ignored. Leaning close to Han, the Telic bared his sharp teeth and hissed, I will tell you the payment. You will accept no haggling." Han kept his eyes locked on the hut. "I better warn you, Jabba. My price goes up if Brain Trails doesn't start using mouthwash." Embarrassed, Big Fortana raised a hand over his mouth and tried to smell his own breath. Jabba chuckled and said, 5,000 credits." Han shook his head. 8,000. Just then, another bone-crunching sound was followed by a monster's yowl from the arena floor. The spectators went wild. And Jabba's watchful, bloodless eyes grew wide with delight. "That had to hurt," he said. 6,000 credits. "I might agree to 7,000, Han said. "If there was a higher-paying job waiting for me when I got back." Looking away from the carnage of the arena floor, Jabba smiled at Han. 6,500. And after you return from Gamor, I might hire you for a longer haul. Perhaps a Wild space? Wild space? Han glanced at Chewbacca. The Wookiee nodded in approval. Alright, Jabba, it's a deal. Han plucked the data card from Bib Fortuna's hand and tucked it into his vest pocket. I'll need 3,000 in advance for expenses. Han looked at the boss. The Hutt nodded. Bib reached into a pelt pouch and removed 3 silver-plated credit chips. Handing the chips to Han, Bib sneered and said, I did not know Riff Raff had expenses, and I had no idea you could count to 3, brain trail. Han said with a grin, Come on, Chewie. Chewbacca looked at Han and answered it in a bark. Han replied, No, we can't stay and watch the fight. We have to prep the Falcon. Before Chewbacca could protest, a snickering thud came from below. The Wookiee returned his gaze to the arena floor and saw that Dunbarks had flattened the squaw. Chewbacca tilted his head back and roared, and said, Happy now? Chewbacca nodded. Then he snarled at Bib Fortuna, just to make the Twi'lek jump before he followed Han out of Jabba's box. Han and Chewbacca made their way to the arena's exit. As they stepped out onto the baking heat, the Wookiee grunted bitterly. I don't want these creatures on the Falcon either, pal. Han answered, They smell worse than Bib Fortuna's breath. I also am not thrilled about Jabba insisting that we take the translator. Chewbacca shrugged, then let out a whimper. You're always hungry, Han replied. If we're lucky, maybe the translator knows how to cook. Chewbacca responded with a hopeful growl. And thus the ending of Chapter 2.